Who are you?
A ghost from your past, here to put an end to this sideshow.
You picked the wrong person to haunt.
Thanks to Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 concluding the series, a groundwork has been laid for potential spin-offs of the show. The directions it'll take are endless because at this point, all characters and their stories has been fleshed out to the point we now officially establish a Miyagi-verse. Here are some spin-off series that are likely to happen, and I'll personally comment on the specific ones I'd especially love to see. I think the very obvious spin-off that I'm sure most Cobra Kai fans would love to see is a spin-off of Hawk and Dimitri going to CalTech. This series could potentially explore different issues with the Binary Brothers, such as how the decision to not go to MIT may affect their friendship, maintaining a long-distance relationship with their girlfriends, the new challenges of living together and needing to adjust with each other. I think there's a lot of ground to cover because apart from half of Season 2 and most of Season 3, Hawk and Dimitri were practically inseparable since the beginning, so there's a lot of ground to cover when it comes to the Binary Bros. We could see more of their nerdy side, see them potentially kick some ass. It would also be interesting to see if Dimitri and Hawk took up different interests that would force them to spend time apart from each other. They actually had a chance at Cobra Kai to explore this through karate, but they eventually made Hawk and Dimitri take up karate, which meant they still end up doing things together in the series. It seems like this idea could be in the works given the interview that the Cobra Kai creators did with Entertainment Weekly. The next spin-off series that will be interesting to see would be Robby and Tory venturing the world to fight fighters globally like Ryu and Ken, but unlike Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, they're a couple. This is also a great position to be in because they know the struggle they had to go through and help other kids in similar situations come out on top if possible. There's potential cameos to be made such as Johnny, Daniel, or them visiting Kim Da-eun's dojo. Hell, if they're gonna run over for 3 seasons, they could have one where they visit Mr. Han's dojo. If anyone has know anything from the Street Fighter series, Ryu and Ken basically travel around the world, they meet other fighters across the globe and have their own adventures, and Robby and Tory can have that same adventure and maybe be more on a personal note since they're still young teens that are going into young adulthood, so it'll be great to see how much development they can have in that position. The next spin-off series that I personally would like to see is Miguel and Sam in Okinawa, which could have clues to the Miyagi history. If it were expanded, the main character would shift to Sam since Miguel would have to go back to Stanford eventually and Stan would be studying abroad. They could see Sato/Shojin's dojo and Miyagi-Do. In an unlikely twist of events, Sam and Miguel might actually visit Kumiko, obviously after being informed by Daniel. If you remember in Season 3 Episode 5 of Cobra Kai, Kumiko actually had letters Mr. Miyagi sent to Yuki, which could potentially mean Kumiko might know something about Mr. Miyagi's past that Daniel doesn't, and she probably thought it was best not to tell Daniel. It would also be an interesting dynamic because the kids didn't know anything about Mr. Miyagi's dark past, and since Sam knew Mr. Miyagi as a kid, it would be interesting to see her reaction upon discovering the things she didn't know about Mr. Miyagi, and it could lead to a conversation between her and Daniel about it. The next spin-off idea is one that I don't see the fan base talking about a lot, is one that I really like to see personally, and that is Axel after the Iron Dragons. From Cobra Kai Season 6, Axel never had any personal development, and it would be an interesting journey for him to go through that and process the feelings he never really had the chance to process. They could also showcase the martial arts action that we see in Cobra Kai. This series could actually take a similar approach to another personal development show, Ted Lasso, where the focus isn't much on the sport, but more on the personal journey of each character. His inability to process emotions he buried could be the main struggle against the future battles, because if we could see from the show that Axel clearly has no problem being a martial artist and fighting at a pure physical and skill level, but struggling with getting in touch with his emotions, navigating vulnerability, and trying to increase self-awareness can actually be the main layers Axel will need to address before getting back into the state where he can fight at his very best. Simply put, Axel's journey would likely be an emotional and personal one, which is something I myself can relate to and would love to see as someone who has actually had to work extensively on this. The groundwork is already laid from Axel's premature crush on Sam to his indirect cause of Kwan's death. We could potentially see more of Axel's past, his training with Sensei Wolf, more on Zaro's own character development, and how it contrasts with Axel's. That is it for my video, guys. So in light of the Cobra Kai series ending, you won't be seeing content of Cobra Kai anymore because the series has ended. It's now time for us to move on. Because I'm still a Cobra Kai fan, I will continue talking about the things that are related to the Miyagi-verse, such as the Karate Kid Legends and a potential Cobra Kai movie if the Karate Kid Legends is successful, as referencing Ralph Macchio's words. However, we have to consider that there's also going to be an eventual end for those two. And if you want to see more Cobra Kai content or Cobra Kai related content, here are some recommendations from my channel that I would suggest you guys to watch. So if Cobra Kai has taught us anything, it's that the right mentor can set us on the right path. But can we imagine a world without a mentor? This world is explored in the game called Sifu. Sifu makes up the second biggest content you'll find on my channel alongside Cobra Kai. It's a character action game developed by Slowclap where you play as a Pakme student who lost their father and mentor as a child and spend their entire life seeking revenge against those that took him away. And following that, I have also made Sifu videos on how you can play your favorite Cobra Kai characters in the game, utilizing techniques and combos that best resembles the Cobra Kai character's personality. And if you like those kinds of videos, then I'd encourage you to check out my actual Sifu gameplay videos. And in follow up to that, I'd encourage you to check out my videos on the smoothest combos to see how you can chain different combos in Sifu and create a customized combat experience. And with that being said, I've also encouraged you to check out a video that I have edited called Pakme Kid, and it's basically created using the game Sifu, but the structure captures the spirit of the Karate Kid where you learn to use new technique and use it at a critical moment. You can also find content on my channel about Cobra Kai's Dojo's Rising and the Karate Kid saga continues, as well as the Karate Kid Street Rumble, which retells the story of the Karate Kid from series 1 to 3. I also do videos on how certain characters from other series would fight using Cobra Kai vs Miyagi-Do. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love character action games such as Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Sleeping Dogs, because it offers enough flexible combat features that helps bring their personalities to life and offer players a novel combat experience, defining how the character wants to do combat. You can fight aggressively like Cobra Kai, you can fight defensively like Miyagi-Do, and you can define your path that you want to take. And that's the type of games that I love a lot, which is why my channel name Free Flow Fire is reflected, because those will be the type of content you'll see on my channel. There are CAG games that are coming out that I would love to play and put them on my YouTube channel, and those are Axel Blood by the Axel team, Spine, Ninja Gaiden 4, etc. So even though Cobra Kai is ending, we may not even get more Cobra Kai content, like at least those videos will be there, so that spirit that Cobra Kai has given us will still be alive in those videos.